you've got quorum, you said?
Yes.
Perfect. Mid-Murray Council would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the land, the Ngadjuri, Nawong, Nangaraku, Narkat, Ngarrindjeri and Paramount peoples of the Mid-Murray lands and waters. It is upon their ancestral lands and waters that the Mid-Murray Council meets and operates, and council pays respect to elders past and present and their spiritual beliefs that are of continuing importance to those First Nations peoples of today. Council further acknowledges the contributions and important role that the First Nations peoples continue to play within the community, and we extend that respect to any peoples in attendance here today. So present, we've got apologies, one from Neville.
That's Ben's absent on the board.
Confirmation of minutes. The minutes of the Strategic Growth and Economic Activation Committee meeting held on the 3rd of April will be taken as read and confirmed. Do we have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Chicken Pig. Do we have a seconder? Someone that was here for it.
I was here.
Thank you, Kitty. Anyone have any discussion in relation to those minutes? If not, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour and against, those carried. Declaration of interest. Does anyone on the committee have a declaration of interest? Councillor Davis, any declaration of interest? No. Dave?
Only if it's with the tourism, that'll be the only thing.
Okay, we'll play that what you want to get to that. Kitty? No, perfect. Deputations are nil. So 7.1 is the committee work plan 24 to 27, and the recommendation is that the committee work plan 24 to 27 report on the strategic growth and economic activation committee agenda of 30 July 2025 be received. Do we have a mover for that? Councillor Chicken Pig, thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Davis, thank you. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I just had one comment on page 7 under the regional planning status budget to be announced. That just brought to mind that given that we're now working towards full cost attribution, which would include internal staff time. So just relating to all that to be announced, I was wondering whether we could see indicative cost predictions for projects not started and new ones proposed. Because at some point we have to have that anyway, don't we, for anything, because it's a grant subject to funding.
Yeah, look, it's hard in terms of obviously calculating that. We put for an indicative cost.
That's all I'm talking
yeah.
about, really. Just some idea, whether it's 2 million or 100,000 or yeah, just some kind of figure to help us in
Yeah, we could do sort of a rough estimate of hourly rates based on a project of the scale that it is, and
which be useful information.
yeah, no, look, we could do, rather than say budget, we could do core cost estimate.
Yeah.
Cost estimate,
and then that way, rather than a budget.
Yeah, so it could be a breakdown of time, which I think is terribly important. Staff time these things take, but also then what other costs, just what grants and what sort of level of grant might we need.
Yeah, no, we can do that. I mean, like I said, if you look at an open space public realm strategy, a rough cost estimate might be anywhere between 70 to 150. For a consultant to do that. Give or take the level of work plus staff time. We can sort of say it might be up to 200,000. Yeah. So that's what just thinking now. That's what probably
That's good. And then maybe change the status to not started as not in budget or something like that, so that people would know why we haven't started.
No, that's happy to just change the status as well.
That was my question too, about the recreation and open space strategy. And the time frame being for 2027, that's because it's just going to be so onerous to do that. Seems like a long way
No,
away.
when we did the regional work plan, we made a decision as a committee to plan out when they would commence.
Mm.
So that effectively is the 2027 is a commencement date,
Mm.
not a completion date.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's a long time away.
Yes, because that's what the committee made a recommendation to council to, because obviously we don't have the resources internally to do every project
Yeah.
each, financial year.
Yeah.
So we plan out, according to the work plan,
Mhm.
over the life of the council.
It's not necessarily a long time because 2027 financial year is only 11 months away, so it could be start of that financial year.
Yeah.
Financial year stuff.
Yeah, so that would effectively be looking at the 26-27
Mm.
financial year.
So if it's not a private business, what happened to the Morgan Community Development person that got the job and then quit?
Sorry, what's that?
The Morgan Community Development Officer, they got a job and then quit?
Yes,
Is that private?
sorry,
Is that private why they quit?
it's private matter, yeah,
Private
private
matter.
reason, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so after the strategy is finalised, then their positions will both be terminated? Is that what will happen? I was just reading between the lines about, it's only a short-term contract. Position in Manham has been filled on a part-time, short-term contract.
Yeah, because that person has only asked for a part-time contract.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So,
So at the moment, we went out to market to fill the position
Mhm.
and we're unable to get a successful candidate.
oh,
We had a person who was an agency backfill, and they have kindly taken on that role for a 6-month contract,
okay.
part-time. Now, when that contract comes up, we might be able to negotiate an extension, but at the moment, they're only looking for part-time work.
Or have to hire someone completely different. again.
Well,
Yeah.
we made a decision not to go back out to market
Yeah.
purposely,
Mhm.
because we've been going out for the same position now for 5 times
Yes.
Wow, between the two.
between the two positions.
People don't want to shop on local government.
So, we've got the Morgan position, which closes
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
And that's advertised internally and externally.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nat and I have already made the call, if we don't feel that there's quality candidates,
Mm.
we won't fill it.
Mhm.
And we'll just look at how we can deliver on the plans and the
Mm.
projects that we've got within the resources that we've got,
Mhm.
and look at looking at different delivery model.
Mhm.
Because if we can't fill it, it's no point putting effort into it again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that job closes tomorrow.
Right.
well,
So, I mean, are you getting a certain number of people who are applying for jobs because they have to apply for jobs and you just go, no, 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 or is it closer than that?
Yes and no.
Yeah,
So you do get regular ones, that are not suitable. And then it's just, the jobs that we advertise are so broad because we do so much in lots of different areas. And, maybe that's what we've considered. Maybe they're too broad. Maybe we're putting too much into this.
I mean, we purposely with the Morgan role, we were looking for someone to do the strategic work. We were looking for someone to be sort of like a team leader, because we do need someone up there. We needed library skills
Library
because we lost that skill, resignation, and so trying to capture that all in one position.
yeah,
And, still trying to express to candidates, while it's a broad role, you're not doing everything every day.
Yeah.
There might be a month where you're working on library stuff, then, 6 months you're working on strategic stuff, and then.
which you think would be of interest. You think it would be interesting to have a variety. Yeah.
Well, I do.
That's lucky.
So that's the challenge, when you write a very broad, position description. And explaining to people that, that they're not doing that all constantly. We had some very good candidates, for the Mountain one. But they unfortunately got, an offer to stay where they were.
Yeah.
It's a very challenging market,
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
and trying to find locals, it's hard. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll keep pursuing.
Very good.
Any further questions on the work plan? Anyone online? Any questions? Right? Right? If not, no further questions, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. Uh, 7.2, South Australian Heritage Council. The recommendation is that the South Australian Heritage Council report on the Strategic Growth and Economic Activation Committee agenda 30 July 5 be received. Do we have a mover for that? Thank you. And seconder? Thank you. Councillor Churchill, are you okay?
Sort of water with it.
Yes, okay. Kitty, would you like to give any questions or would you like to speak on that, mate?
So cultural heritage does it include cultural, Indigenous cultural heritage or just built European heritage things?
My understanding is primarily about places, but that's not to say it doesn't include cultural. But the way the letter and the detail, it's got the Heritage Places Act,
Mhm.
which is primarily about local state heritage places,
But
So
European.
which may include some cultural.
Aboriginal culture, Indigenous, yeah.
There was a mention in the recommendations from the workshop, I think, about Aboriginal culture. About liaising
Mhm.
regarding it, making sure that it's considered.
Yeah.
Somewhere down in the in the actual
Yeah.
workshop report.
It's just that I noticed, like, at the beginning of each of our meetings, we can talk about respect and Aboriginal culture and then, you know, how are we consulting and dealing with all these decisions with that group of people.
So this is
This
a
is
body,
the council.
so this is a body of work that's been done by state
Yeah,
government.
yeah,
Yeah, so they would, as part of their engagement plans, engage with First Nation people.
they do.
any further questions?
Just like to make a quick comment on page 11, they talk about the project consisting of a local council survey and workshop and a heritage stakeholder workshop, but actually all councils were surveyed, but not all councils were invited to the workshop. 25 were chosen, of which I think only 3 were regional. I found that really, really bad. This is a massive review of all the heritage for the state, and they couldn't make it available to all councils to have somebody there to talk about it. Because if you look at people think of heritage as fancy buildings in the city, but actually, of course, there's a load of heritage buildings and other stuff in all the council regions. So I don't know if you guys felt the same when you saw that, Gary, that
Yeah,
why were they being so selective?
and for that, I agree, for no one to be selected in from Murray to Mallee or Riverland.
We were invited, yeah.
Yeah, we just couldn't go.
We could go.
That's right, we were one of the regional councils.
So they only listed those attending, not all those invited.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have staff available.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I guess my other thought there was as well, I would have thought it would have been very helpful for some elected members to go to the workshop as well. And they clearly didn't have that in mind, but, we are constantly, come up with questions and comments and community issues around heritage buildings and the like. So I think it's a pity that they didn't think about including elected members as stakeholders. I just sort of like that.
I remember when the invitation came out.
Workshops were in April. You did the survey originally,
did the
that's
survey.
what prompted the invitation to join.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's good that we got an invitation. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, but, I suppose I'd just say that if you're pushed and you do have an invitation and you do want someone to just go and take notes, come back and feedback to you guys, I for one would be very happy to do that.
Yeah, okay. So you
Okay.
get that in. Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a point here about, they talked about training of different staff in heritage issues. A few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, they had a heritage restoration training at Morgan. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually attended. I paid for myself to go on that training. And so there was council staff and outsiders had to pay their own way. But I was just wondering, how many staff have been involved in any heritage restoration activities since then? Because there's a few people got the training.
So that
You don't know?
off the top, but,
No.
I mean, staff obviously undertake their professional development, within council, training budget.
Yeah.
And officers like planning officers and all that do maintain, their CPD points. And then generally training provided through the Planning Institute or other service providers. So if there's heritage, training sessions, and it's deemed appropriate and within budget, staff are able to attend. But, it's fair to say that, staff, commitment towards their professional development, some of them is outweighed by workload.
And also strategic plan, because I don't know that it's a high priority. I can't think of where there'd be a line. I know there was something about heritage, but I don't think it was a high priority. So staff have to go, what's my workload? Where is it on the strategic plan? So that's, I guess, the role of council and community, if they think that's a high priority, to talk to us next strategic plans.
Okay, so for instance, the welcome to Manham stone wall that was done by the Lions.
Progress.
Yeah. And the men's shed built it. Is that right? I'm sure Progress will be.
Not sure.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a stone feature. And I know that in the past, council staff have done stone work around Manham, around the Monument Corner. That was a council project, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. I just wondering, I mean, that's a resource, isn't it? And I read about, training of staff, council people and stuff. And so we have paid, well, the council organised the training. And we did the restoration project on the old station masters house up there.
Yeah.
It's just that, there are people around.
That staff member that organised that training is no longer with us.
No,
That was at the same time we were doing the Heritage DPA
Yeah.
in the Southern Hill.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Heritage was her forte.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
Josephine.
Josephine, that's, yeah.
All right, any further questions on this one?
Yes, I have another one about, the listing of local heritage places. Do we have a list of places? Is that on the agenda to make a list of places?
So, I think again, my understanding is that the council did a heritage survey quite a number of years ago and initiated a code of, what was then, development amendment, a code amendment now. Then it was decided that there was too large, sort of split in half. So only the southern code amendment was done. So hence why on the work plan, there's the code amendment for the Northern Heritage, because there's that body of work still to be done, and that's subject to funding.
Okay.
And the local heritage places, Kitty, are on the database. If you go to the Heritage SA website, they're all listed for the whole state.
Okay. Okay, because I know there was I just read, in the report about demolition, of heritage places, demolishing. So in order to not get a place demolished, it has to be on the list, does it?
It can still be demolished if it's a local heritage place. If it's a state heritage place, then it's got that protection. But a local heritage place can still be, someone still apply for demolition.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's it for me then.
That's it from you. Any further questions from anyone else? If not, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. Thank you. 7.3, Mid-Murray Tourism Precinct Planning Project. The recommendation is that the Mid-Murray Tourism Precinct Planning Project report on the committee agenda 30 July 2025 be received. And the committee recommend the council that the Mid-Murray Tourism Precinct Planning Project be included in the work plan for 24 to 27. Do we have a mover for that? Dave, thank you. Councillor Toshing, Peak, and seconding that. Thank you. Dave, would you like to speak or have any questions on that?
I just think it's fantastic. They're looking in the future, especially with some of the planning that's going on with SATC. So fully supporting it.
Yeah, fabulous to get that amount of funding to do something like that. So well done to the staff who worked towards getting that. And big thank you to Don Farrell who supported our application, I think. Any further questions, comments?
Yes, when did, does it go back, when was it, I asked about the, cost benefit analysis, have we come to that yet?
That's in the tourism report.
Oh, okay, so this is before that.
Separate, yeah.
Okay, because I suppose the questions I have around this really go to a bit of that.
Do you want to hold them for the other one?
Yeah,
Just on this precinct planning project for this item.
yeah, well, that's where I've got my notes under the precinct. Yeah, I suppose, but they're general things. Okay, I can hold it off.
Oh, all right. Okay. Anyone else have any questions in regard to this project?
On page 32, hang on.
32.
I've got here. The promotion of river traffic. I have questions about issues around mass tourism, mass river traffic, and the issues around why some people come to the area and how do we balance the people that want to come here for the peace and quiet and the beauty compared to the people that want to come and hoon and go fast on their boats and drink and do all those anti-social things and see it as a playground. I have a real problem with how we sit those things together. And I don't know how do you resolve that?
Would this be part of the engagement throughout this project?
I mean, part of the project is got to do a fair bit of community engagement around each of the sub-projects within it. And so that the River Corridor Master Plan is very much about looking at those tourism assets that are required to help promote, corridor movement. So in terms of, short-term mooring spaces and the like. So, in terms of houseboats and river cruises, it's obviously not specifically addressing individual household, runabouts.
So, but I suppose the river traffic.
Yeah, but like I said, this master plan is looking specifically more at the tourism related activity rather than the individual, home activity.
All right, so you're
Yeah.
separating like the people that have a shack on the river with a boat, and they come up with the jet skis and boats and what those activities, that's still tourism, isn't it?
Not in the sense that's recreational activity. It's not tourism activity.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is focusing on tourism.
Yeah.
So in terms of that economic investment
Mm.
around allowing tourist operators
Mm.
to utilise the river corridor.
Okay,
That's the focus of this study.
Yeah, and that's what it says, focusing on river tourism assets, opportunities around short-term mooring spaces for rivercraft and associated facilities to promote river traffic.
So this is about creating wharf space,
Yeah.
jetties, it's about creating landings, boat ramps,
Yeah.
potentially. But more so at that tourism activity level rather than the runabouts.
okay, yeah, I don't know where I sit on this. I just feel very conflicted. I know
I think
this-
it would be worth, like, the project's happening.
yeah,
Let it happen and then comment if there's some engagement chance, but otherwise the report will come back to us before it goes to council. So if you see something written that you don't agree with, or it promotes more jet skis and things like that, then we can have a discussion there. But if we discuss now, it might not happen.
Yeah, that's
Because
fair.
it's gonna be consultants that are doing it,
Yes,
isn't
correct.
it? So
Yeah.
if we just keep a close eye on it and make sure we're engaging at the points that we
So-
can engage.
Not dissimilar to what we've done with the growth strategy. So the consultants have been, preparing that based on engagement with this committee,
Yeah,
with elected members, through the community. And then it came back through this committee as a draft, and then obviously then as a final draft.
Mm.
So this committee, will have opportunity to provide its feedback as the consultants team, develop this new master plan.
So yeah, this item, we're just receiving the report and recommending that we put it into our work plan. That's all we're doing. So we're not actually having discussion on what's going in there or anything like that. It's just, do we think that this is a good project and we want to do it?
Mm.
That's what we're approving, basically. But, possibly in the tourism bit, again, you can talk about those kind of things.
It's tricky, Kitty, because I used to live in the Lake District in the UK, and it's exactly the same dilemma, some of the four-wheel drives going through these pristine areas and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, the difficulty is that we as residents, we ended up going, well, that's what summer's like. Winter, thank God, is not like that at all, and we get our time in winter, because you can't stop the tourists coming. That's the dilemma with the touristy area like Cardiff, presumably it's a lot busier in summer than it is in winter.
It's almost.
well, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it is there, yeah, but so the river's a better
Yeah.
example, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah,
But I know, it's a really difficult dilemma, it always is.
Yeah.
Because people come here for the beauty and the pristine and the blah, blah,
Mm.
but people come here for the fun.
Yeah.
And who's to say?
yeah. And who's responsible?
Mm.
Who's
Well,
responsible?
And that's even a bigger discussion for us to
Yeah.
discuss with the state, to
Mm.
say, who is policing this?
Mm.
Yeah,
We've seen injuries and what's happening.
because the river's not ours, to police.
No.
It's just,
No, but the council,
That's some advocacy work we can do.
Yeah,
council parks and open spaces are,
yeah, yeah, that's right.
and there are problems already existing.
Yeah.
So.
It's a constant issue.
So anyone else have any questions regarding the project or the recommendation? If not, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against? Those carried. 7.4. The recommendation is the Disability Access and Inclusion Plan Update Report on the Strategic Growth and Economic Activation Committee agenda on the 30th of July 2025 be received, and the committee recommend to council that the review of the Disability Access and Inclusion Plan be progressed in line with the timeframe outlined by the state government and budget allocation. Do we have a mover for that? Councillor Chilchick-Pete, thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Davis, thank you. Would anyone like to speak on that or have any questions? No?
I have a question
Yes.
regarding the disability plan. Is there a focus on making sure that tourists with disabilities get as much access as locals, as people that live around here?
So the plan is about all people with disabilities.
Anyone?
In line with the state plan, that's for everyone.
Yep.
And again, it'll be done by a consultant to work with the community.
And tourist bodies.
Any further questions? No? You got any more, Kitty?
Let's do that.
Okay, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. So item 8.1, tourism update. The recommendation is that the tourism update report on the strategic growth and economic activation committee agenda on 30th of July be received. We have a mover for that. Councillor Jack McPeak. Have we got a seconder? Anyone wish to second? Thank you, councillor Davis. Wish to speak on that?
Only on page 97,
Mhm.
the feedback about the Manning Visitor Information finishing top of the states with the statewide survey in terms of conversion rates. And I think that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all concerned. Loads of hard work being done. The signage outside that is starting to look really fantastic as well. So, yeah, I did actually, or Vicky popped in to say there's a slight error here, something not, but one of the few things wasn't working, whatever. But otherwise, it just looked really good. All the panels are starting to look really inviting. So I was very pleased for that group of people at Manning Visitor Centre.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to ask? Questions, comments?
Well, that's the question I asked at the previous meeting.
Mhm.
So.
Does that answer your question?
Well, my question here is, please explain the pie graph on the page 96. What are what's the committees? What about the Mid-Murray Tourism?
Committee would be the Mid-Murray Tourism, Mid-Murray Heritage and Maritime Committee.
Okay, so there's one committee.
One of yes. Yes.
All right, so it's,
So part of the staff time would be to do agendas and
yeah,
minutes. And,
so there's only one committee,
yep,
right? And compliance?
Probably need Andy for that.
Yeah, but they would have to meet certain compliance requirements.
Yeah, it would be the working out to get the boats.
Maritime assets.
Yeah, get the boats slipped to do compliance on that. It'll be workshop safety compliance, all that kind of
So
stuff.
it's done. Yes, no,
Yeah.
very sure that's.
All right, so it's an industry engagement, that's more than just the maritime. That's engagement with who?
That would be with
Tourism industry.
Tourism
Yeah, the
industry.
tourism, so Destination Riverland, the Coorong,
Riverlands, Coorong, tourism.
and then tourism operators.
And
I would
operators.
think too, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
okay, volunteer management, there are people on the boats and the whatever, tourism marketing. So I'm just interested in the percentages there. So the marketing, there's two different groups that we're involved in, and tourism and promotion groups, is it? What are they called?
So we're violating Coorong and Riverland.
And, yeah,
Right, so there's two, so,
So there's other marketing, so radio marketing, newspaper marketing, Andy's been talking to RAA to do a project there, social media.
And there's the new app, isn't there?
Yes, website,
Yeah.
oh, the dodgy
Yeah.
website.
So from my understanding, from what I've read, that pie chart is staff time, I think, not money or anything like that. Because it talks about the employees.
All right,
That's
but
the
the heritage
proportion.
assets is not employees, that's the boats.
Yeah, but the
Yes.
employees run the heritage assets, like the time they put to those assets.
Okay, so this isn't an amount, this is
As
time.
far as I'm concerned, it says tourism is one of the largest regional drivers in council, employing 7 staff, 5 full-time employees across those areas, and the following graphic depicts the tourism functions of council for members' information and a summary of recent tourism activities provided by.
Okay.
So the dollars
So-
are all in attachment 1 under the value of tourism
Yeah.
tables.
So it doesn't take into account any negative impacts and the costs of tourism. That's what I was interested in. Like, I mean, that's their costs of tourism, but the on-ground costs of negative impacts of tourism.
Mm.
Which, to me, we talk about sustainability. Sustainability isn't just about keeping the money rolling in.
Mm.
It's about having an asset, which is this region, that is sustainable under the demands and wants of people that come into the area.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's not very satisfying to me.
Well, as Andy sort of alluded to, and the members were briefed, is that we are currently doing the sustainability review for the tourism side of the business.
Mm.
So once that's completed, we'll have probably a better indication of what the actual cost of service is.
Yeah.
Going forward. So that's why Andy didn't want to give a definitive answer at this point in time, given that the review is underway.
Okay. Because I had a quick look at the website and the first page of the website to me is a problem. It's got a beautiful picture of a little family under a gum tree with a fire. Everyone seen that? No?
Which website are you talking about?
On the new tourism website?
Explore,
Explore Maroon, yeah.
Yeah. And
this one.
yep, that one in the middle, experience. That is one of the most dangerous things, places you can have a fire at the base of a tree. And that's what we're encouraging people to do. And
I
that,
think that's an operational thing. Definitely send that to staff and they can sort that. But this
Well, but
committee is
it-
like a strategic committee, so we
Yeah.
need to look at strategically, should we do tourism or what is the cost per hour? So I think that kind of stuff can be discussed in this meeting. But website stuff like that, and I take it your point, it definitely should be pointed out, but I don't think it's part of this committee's terms of reference to point out operational type things.
No.
But we mention things to council. all the
Yeah,
time.
so, and yeah, we can definitely send
So-
send an email and highlight it, because, yeah, someone probably just thought that was a nice photo, but didn't think about
yeah,
the person that lives next to a park where tourists stay and light fires, so definitely highlight that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like me giving feedback on the QR code not working on the brand new sign, which was really irritating for Vicky. Of course, it would not be it. It was very irritating because it's brand new. But you know, it's important that people raise these
Yeah.
issues.
Mm.
We do that all
But
the time.
through the
and
right
coaches do that,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay,
you feel like your question has been answered or not?
no, I'm feeling quite
So-
frustrated.
What does the report do? The report uptakes the committee on activities within the tourism portfolio. But your question was about cost and
Yeah.
benefit.
Okay, then can someone please tell me what is SEO is?
Where is it?
Page 96. Where is it? Page 97. Yes,
Work on page 97, yeah, work continues to build an SEO for the new tourism website.
there you go.
Say a search engine optimization, so it makes sure you've got the right keywords and everything in there, so that you can find so anyone searching web pages it'll come up on the web page for your
Search.
so
Sorry, Dave, what was that? Search engine operation,
Optimisation.
optimization.
Optimisation.
Well done, thank you.
basically an index on your basically an index on your like in a book, what your index and your cookbook or whatever, it'd have an index. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay, thanks for that.
We're so glad you came, Dave.
Yeah.
Any further questions in regards to that report?
Operational versus what? Operational. Strategy.
So it does say that once the sustainability has been considered by council, the committee will be provided with an information report. So I guess any further questions that aren't answered in that report, we can put to Andy to see if you can get your answers. Are you happy with that?
What about the issue of a tourism I've been involved on tourism committees down on the Fleurieu Peninsula, and the council didn't have staff to do that. So all the tourism businesses got together and they would meet and talk about issues, and then if they had an issue, they had a council representative on that committee. And that negated the need for a tourism staff member and put some of the, what's the word? It put a lot
The
back
onus
in,
back on the community.
yeah, and back into the hands of the operators. And so they had someone coming back regularly to the council. And I thought that is just a
Sounds fabulous, and as part of this sustainability report, I would assume, like all of our other sustainability items, that it will go back out to community for engagement, so definitely recommend.
So that's at that
Engage
stage.
at that stage, yeah, yeah,
Right.
so then you'll have all that, this is what it's costing us, so one of the recommendations might be that we don't fill the tourism manager's position if we offload boats or whatever the report is, it will say, this is what we're planning.
Yeah.
This is what it will say, this is what it will do, and if you've got other ideas, you're open to that. And a lot of the things that we've put out in the past have come back differently once it's been to that engagement, because we've had some different community input. So definitely would highly recommend that when that goes to that engagement. It does look like things are going back, so I just want to make sure that you're satisfied that at least we'll, be further informed once we have more information.
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions? Do we still have quorum?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks like she's back. Hello. Okay, well, if no one's got any further questions on that item, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. 8.2. And the recommendation, there's two ways that it could go. So the review of the Strategic Growth and Economic Activation Committee Terms of Reference report on the Strategic Growth Economic Activation Committee agenda on the 30th of July be received. And either we endorse it or we endorse it with some amendments. So maybe we'll have some discussion on that before we go to that. Does anyone have any questions or comments or feedback with regards to the terms of reference?
I didn't have any amendments.
No? Dave or Jen? No?
No.
No? So I suggest if there's no questions or amendments, we go with 1 and 2 and we strike out 3. We've got a mover for that. Councillor Topchick-Pete, thank you. And Councillor Davis is seconding it. Thank you. Any further discussion? Not that we've had any, but if not, we'll put that motion up. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. Thank you. And it is questions without notice relating to this committee. And on the strategic nature, why not? Anybody? No, not there, not there, no. Keating?
No.
Mike? Perfect. Confidential reports and nil. Next meeting is to be held at Canberra at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, the 29th of October, 2025. So I declare the meeting closed at 2:45 p.m. Thank you everyone for attending.